All right, hi everybody. It is Friday evening on this Friday the 13th, Friday, June 13th, that is. And we just wrapped up our 6 o'clock newscast. Wanted to show you what's happening out there. As you can see, some storms coming in from the west. A few of those with a warning on it over Jackson and DeKalb County. We'll talk about that. A couple of advisories north. Still, this is not a widespread severe risk like we had last week. It's nothing like that. A lot of these are more just individual strong storms that we're keeping a close eye on. But do keep in mind, these are starting to move into neighboring areas of Dade, Walker, Chattooga. So we'll keep an eye on that for you as well. So let's go ahead and jump into it here and take a look what's happening out there. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And we'll keep you updated. This is just going to be the norm for the next several days heading into the weekend where, it's not going to rain all day, every day. You can do some outdoor activities. Just at times, the radar is going to start looking like this, and you'll have to go inside for a little while. So let me show you first of all what's happening here in DeKalb and Jackson, and also in Dade. No warning there, but what we're watching is that warning out till 7:15 Eastern time, and we'll zoom in on the exact area there. But specifically, that is for southeastern Jackson, all of DeKalb until 7:15 Eastern. That storm initially, when this warning was put out, was near Powell. This gone well northeast of there. And moving northeast is about 20 miles an hour. That's a pretty slow pace. It could have some wind gusts up to 60. Heavy rain, lightning, and a little bit of hail with that as well. And that whole line stretches from, say, Fort Payne, just west of Henniger, really just west of 1159, and already crossing into Trenton. So a lot of heavy rain, lightning all the way to almost Lookout Valley, Tiftonia. So downtown Chattanooga about to get some very heavy rain coming in. No warning, but it's going to be pretty noisy. Very heavy rain headed toward Rossville, Fort Oglethorpe, East Ridge, Lookout Mountain, and right toward the city. And notice all that lightning right there. So it's going to be pretty noisy for a little while as that heavy rain moves on in. So it's been an afternoon where you've been able to get some outdoor activities done. But, during our forecast Thursday evening, we talked about how Friday, it would be heavily more favored toward the evening hours than the afternoon. I think that timing's worked out really well. Not good, though, for your evening activities. But with that lightning threat, I say so often, when thunder roars, head indoors. Remember that. Stay safe. Let me zoom the radar out a little bit and zoom me a little bit lower. We'll switch places here with the radar. There we go. You can see that a little bit better there. So very heavy rain through northern parts of Dade, northern Walker, northern Catoosa, Fort Oglethorpe getting wet, East Ridge getting wet. None of these are under severe warnings, but again, it is noisy, okay? Let me first show you where this severe thunderstorm warning is, right here between Sylvania, Henniger, Eider. We'll take a look at the velocity scan. These are mainly straight line winds with this, but there have been some pockets of stronger wind gusts in now northern parts of Jackson and DeKalb, and we'll zoom in on some of those. And you can see a few of these pockets here. Has some gust right there along 75. That is Alabama Highway 75. 30, 40. So some pretty strong wind gusts there. It wouldn't surprise me if over the next few minutes, as this approaches more of the state line, you might see Dade, Walker, parts of Chattooga go under an advisory of some kind. Just letting you know a strong storm's coming in. A lot of lightning in and around Fort Payne, back on Sand Mountain to right along the DeKalb Jackson County line. And then we got this cell really picking up here with very heavy rain and lightning headed towards downtown. And it's on the south side of the city now. Rossville getting wet, heavy rain in Fort Oglethorpe and back to Tiftonia, and slowing traffic down all along 24 right there. So no warning out there, but it's awfully noisy with all that lightning and loud claps of thunder. North, there is an advisory on this storm between Pikeville, Dayton, and Spring City, right along Highway 27 there. But again, it's mainly for the potential of some gusts upwards of 40 and the rain and lightning. That's also out to 7:15 Eastern time. We'll take a look at the wind inside of that with the velocity scan. And just west of Dayton, you can see some pockets there, the deep red. No rotation with that. It's mainly straight line winds, but above the surface, some of those wind gusts there, 30 to 40 above the surface. So, some wind gusts are going to accompany that, but it's below that severe threshold, which is 58 miles an hour. So strong, but not severe. And then north of Spring City, that's heading into Roane County and eastern Cumberland County, an advisory on that cell that's getting just north of Spring City now, headed toward the county line. So that's heading outside the viewing area. But again, we'll keep an eye on this warned cell here in Jackson and DeKalb. And on the leading edge of that, it's already producing some soaking downpours here into the city. So Rossville, East Ridge, heavy rain, a lot of lightning around Rossville. Back to Lookout Mountain, heavy rain to Point Park. And you get into the Clifton Hills area, Rossville Boulevard, southern parts of the city, and heading northeast. So Missionary Ridge getting wet, East Ridge, and 75-24 split. And all along 24 in the city, very heavy rain coming in. So about to rain buckets out there, but also be aware of that lightning threat. But let's take a look at the wind as that storm continues to grow a little bit. See some pockets there of up to 40, so it's pretty windy out there with that cell. I'm taking a look at our doorbell cam, which is right within that cell there, and it's pretty breezy with rain coming down. So there are some strong gusts within that cell, making its way to the north and east. So we'll keep an eye if there's any advisories issued on that. Very heavy rain and lightning around Trenton. And let's look there in Trenton to Rising Fawn. And again, no rotation with these, but there are some strong pockets of wind. You can see that right there, moving east with what's now over Lookout Mountain. And then these pockets come off Sand Mountain west of Trenton, headed east. So there are some pockets there, some pretty strong gusts. And again, here's an advisory. I'm not a betting man, but I should have. we saw this coming. It's an advisory here for parts of Dade, Catoosa, and Chattooga out till 7:15 Eastern. For, again, winds up to 40, heavy rain, frequent cloud to ground lightning. Okay, no surprise there. This is all moving northeast at around 15 miles an hour. It's a very slow pace, and that means some excessive runoff in spots as this activity makes its way to the east-northeast. So let's do a quick tracker on this for you because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. We'll track the leading edge of this right here, even in the city. And there you go. I mean, East Brainerd in the next few minutes. I mean, it's going to be just before 7, but you're starting to feel the wind now. Lafayette around 7:30 with that line coming in from the west, right along the Georgia-Alabama border. Collegedale 7:15. So again, what to expect? Well, some gusts up to 40, heavy rain, lightning, but again, not it's a notch below severe levels. As I said, they're extremely noisy, but noisy is not on the severe scale. You can have a storm that has hundreds of lightning strikes and not be deemed severe. The severity is based on the wind gust potential, which is going to be 58 miles an hour higher, and of course, 1-inch diameter hail. All right, and that's where these storms have stayed just below that. They're awfully noisy, though, with heavy downpours of rain, like what we had yesterday. There were hardly any warnings out there, but some of the rain really caused some flash flooding in spots and lightning. So we're kind of in that summer mode now where the storms are not like what we had last weekend. Not a squall line, not the strong wind gusts with that. These have some wind potential with it, but it's far less than what we had last week. And it's going to be a very similar situation tomorrow. We're going to have these afternoon heating of the day storms and at times some advisories. And here's that new advisory for Hamilton County for the same storm we're watching here. Again, these advisories are a step below a severe thunderstorm warning. So for many of your devices, if you have the setting set up, you'll probably get these special weather statements. But if not, typically your radio will not go off for this or your mobile device for these special weather statements. But that's why we're here. But this special weather statement out till 7:30 Eastern for Hamilton County. Wind gusts up to 50, half-inch diameter hail. Haven't seen a lot of hail with these. The freezing level is much higher when you get into the summer months. So there might be a little bit with the high altitude cloud structure of some of the storms, but they're going to have to be really up there. But there's a small potential for that. But heavy rain and some wind gusts up to 40 to 50 with that as it moves to the northeast at 35. And I'll take these advisories off for a second so you can kind of get a better idea of where the storms are. Sometimes those advisories kind of obscure things just a bit. You can see very heavy rain here, Rossville, East Ridge, Brainerd, all the way to the 75-24 split. It's about to reach East Brainerd right here, about to reach the mall area. And you can see the movement rather quickly north and east, all the Missionary Ridge, pretty wet right now. Heading toward the North Shore, so pretty heavy rain, and that's a below severe levels storm, but still, nevertheless, need to go inside for a while. You can see the pretty strong wind gusts accompanying that right along the border there. I guess close to 40 above the surface. So it's got some wind with it. So there you go. And let's go to the south a bit. We'll put our advisories back up. Yeah, they canceled that warning over Dade. I keep saying Dade, over DeKalb at Jackson. So that warning has been lifted here. So that warning has expired for DeKalb and Jackson. So there are no severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment. These are all storm advisories. These are staying below that, but they're still pretty loud and got some strong wind gusts with that. And we'll, keep a track of these now in 7:15, 7:30. I have a feeling, with time between 7:15, 7:30, it'll be closer to this area here and then moving east. But nevertheless, some pretty heavy rain. At times, some strong wind gust. At times, a lot of lightning. So, time to go inside for a little while. Dayton and Spring City, pretty active here. Again, it's very heavy rain with that. Right along the McMinn County line, all the way to just southwest of Athens, right along 75. Up and down 27 from Sale Creek to Dayton, Spring City. Lots of heavy rain and back on the mountain. A lot of lightning with that. But again, lightning is the most dangerous element of that. But of course, be careful traveling with this very heavy rain. Be aware of ponding on roadways. And then north and east, that's moving away from Ray, moving away from Cumberland. But if you live in neighboring Roane County, be aware of that as that moves to the north and east. Again, in the city and neighboring areas of Sequatchie and does it reach in the Ray? No, it's just for Sequatchie and Hamilton. This is for that storm advisory. Wind gusts up to 50 are possible between now and 7:30 as that storm races northeast at 35. So it's in the city now, but be aware farther north towards Soddy, Daisy, Snow Hill between now and 7:30. That storm will reach you with heavy rain and a good bit of lightning. Same thing at Fort Oglethorpe, getting some heavy rain now. Rossville. Chickamauga, not so much, but you do have some heavy rain coming in from the west. Trenton, heavy downpours with lightning. Same thing towards Rising Fawn. And you got this line of storms moving right along the heart of DeKalb County, Fife to Fort Payne. Had someone just asking about Somerville. We got a little blob there southwest of Somerville with rain, but you're going to have some rain and lightning coming your way during the 7 o'clock hour. Between 7 and 8 o'clock, this line is going to move over Somerville, move over Lafayette with some rain and lightning. Okay. Let's go back to the city. A lot of lightning in the city right now. Look at that. Pause it there for just a second. Tremendous amount of lightning here from basically the ridge westward all the way through downtown. So it's time to stay inside. Remember the 30-30 rule. Wait 30 minutes since the last visible lightning strike or audible clap of thunder before resuming outdoor activities, or that you're able to count 30 seconds between a lightning strike and resulting clap of thunder. That means it'll be a decent distance away. But again, that's a large area of lightning there from Oh, over near Warner Park, UTC campus, all the way down to the state line. And the movement is northeast at around 35 miles an hour. So it's a noisy one. But as I've said before, noise doesn't equate to severe, but it's noisy. And lightning is deadly. So get inside. And hearing thunder outside our studios right now. We track the leading edge of this severe cell, non-severe cell, but strong one. Moving northeast. What did they put it at? 35 on that? That's a lot faster than the others have been moving. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Give me just a little bit more real estate to show here. So we're tracking this cell here. So Red Bank in the next few minutes. Sonny Daisy by 7:14. That's near when this polygon expires. And then Bakewell, 7:28. Sail Creek, 7:33. And far northeast is Dayton. Dayton is already raining now. I get that, but we're tracking this. You're going to get a lot of rain at Dayton before this arrives, but this could have a little bit more in the way of wind and some lightning with that. Again, north of the city, quite a bit of rain now from Riceville to Athens to Calhoun, Tennessee, that is. And that huge blob really just developed there. That's right on the lake there. Northeast of Sonny Daisy, just north of the river. Actually, right along the river, from Shore Acres to Birchwood. So right along it, just west of 58 from Georgetown, Birchwood, right near the county line. That's a gully washer right there. But you can feel the moisture in the air. And it's no surprise these storms are going to generate pretty quickly because, again, it's high moisture content in the air. It's not going to take much. And you're also going to have those scary looking clouds when you get the storms like this. They're going to hang lower because of the condensation level, because of how moist it is. So that's some scary looking clouds with it. People send them to me all the time. They'll have, with the rain occurring, they'll have low hanging clouds practically all the way to the ground. But for the most part, these are not tornadic. Not seen that with these yet. Some strong wind gusts, but more than a lot of heavy rain and lightning. Here we go to the east a bit. And you can see Athens right along the Highway 11, 75 corridor. Heavy rain from Riceville to Athens. And if we zoom in the city, heavy rain continues to make its way to the east, up toward Hickson. Leading edge of that heavy downpour is kind of right over us right now, but about to cross the dam. So it's fixing to rain in Hickson. Actually, just east of there. It's already raining, but you're going to get more of that heavy rain coming in from the southwest. You probably hear the claps of thunder outside our studios right now. Heavy rain reaching East Brainerd. Down around Fort Oglethorpe. Again, it's lightning, heavy rain. Let's check some of the wind gusts there. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so we got some pockets of bright red. You can see it right in here. We're looking at the velocity scan or the winds within the storm, and yeah, it's not too bad. We've had in that 30 to 40 range above the surface. So yeah, it's still a little windy, but it's below the severe threshold, which is good. Glad I got my yard mowed today. I was out there mowing early. Doesn't take long to mow my yard. It's about 30 minutes, but boy, I was sweating after that. It's so humid out there, but glad I did it because, I had that dry period today before that storm arrived. And you can see here, again, they lifted the warning for DeKalb and Jackson, but folks, this is mainly rain, lightning, a lot of it here from Fort Payne to Mentone to Henniger, back across Sand Mountain. So that'll be getting into portions of Chattooga, Walker, Dade between now and 7:15, 7:30. So Chickamauga, you've already had a little downpour. You're going to have more coming in from the southwest. Same thing in Lafayette will be coming in. Up and over Pigeon Mountain there very shortly. And most of Hamilton County is a soaker all the way north to south. Heavy rain from Riceville to Decatur, right along Tennessee Highway 39. Stretches right there. I'm going to show you this. You see my phone. So you get those alerts. It says Storm Track 9 app. Can you read that? It says lightning detected a mile from you. It's a great thing about this app. The Storm Track 9 app. If you have your location services turned on, it'll detect lightning for you. Tell you when it's drawing closer. It'll send you alerts. It's a free download. Just go to your app store, WTBCWX, download it. Make sure alert services are turned on. You get those alerts. It's even voice activated. So it'll tell you with a voice that lightning's not far away or there's a severe storm nearby. So it's great to have. And you can see south of Decatur, heavy rain moving in, lightning. I'm trying to see out our window here. See across. Yeah, it's raining. Hear it on the rooftop. Not much wind, but it's a downpour. And a lot of lightning with it. I'm sure you're going to hear more claps of thunder on our outside shortly. But folks, that much lightning, that's deadly. We talk about severity with hail, with gust and the tornado potential, but folks, right there, lightning, extremely deadly. And with so many outdoor activities, you need to remember when thunder roars, head indoors, get inside quickly. Make sure your kids understand that as well. So if they're out playing, they hear it, get home. Okay. Remember that if you're poolside, lakeside over the weekend, you'll have time to go outside and go to the pool, go to the lake this weekend. You can, but remember that lightning safety. If you see it in the distance or hear it, it's time to get inside. And we say so often that especially during the evening hours when there's a distant storm so far away that you can see the lightning but not hear the thunder, people call that heat lightning. There's, again, no such thing as heat lightning. Lightning is lightning. Lightning comes from a thunderstorm. It's just in the summertime when those tops are really high, like 50, 60,000 feet, you can see the bright strobing from far, far away, 50, 60 miles away, but not hear the thunder. So it gives you that illusion that, oh, that's just heat lightning. It's lightning, okay? But lightning's lightning. But if you hear thunder, that means lightning's close by. But you can call it heat lightning. You know, I've heard that all my life, and people call it that, and it's fine. Just understand what heat lightning is, okay? But there's no heat lightning shaving here. If you call it that, that's fine. Not a problem. You call it that. Call it what you want. Again, that warning expired for DeKalb and Jackson, but still very heavy rain coming down with that. Not much in the way of warnings, which is good. So the severities kind of come down with these just a bit. I mean, it's like I said, they're pretty noisy out there, but not too bad. Let me look at this other screen here. Yeah, these. What's interesting is where they were stronger south, they're now a little stronger north. With these, but still, below severe thresholds. Let's take a look at the winds inside of these, especially that one near Georgetown, northern Hamilton. You see a few pockets. I'll point this out. We're looking at the velocity. We see bright red here. Yeah, it's probably pretty individual gusts. So there's a little potential there, 20, 30 above the surface. So it's not too bad. These are not rotating storms. Whoops. Wrong thing. Ignore that. That's not, I drew that by mistake. So we're just looking at, pockets of 30 to 40 above the surface. So it's pretty breezy out there with that. Let's keep doing that. Stop it. And again, the advisory for Ray County, I believe, was for that cell, which is now near Spring City, unless they get this new one's for. No, that's what that was for, which is a storm near Spring City now. But I have a feeling in Ray County, heads up, you had the storm coming in from the southwest, so it's soaking Hamilton. So be aware, and especially in Meigs County. I mean, if you go all up and down 58 from Decatur all the way back down to Georgetown and all the way down to just west of Collegedale, very heavy rain, a lot of lightning here. Look at all that lightning there around the city. Wow. Let's see, that's been a pretty fast move over the past hour. East Brainerd, depends on where you are in East Brainerd. The farther east down East Brainerd Road, you're kind of staring at it. You can see the dark skies to the west, while farther west you go, near the mall and near the split, that's where that very heavy rain is. And again, heavy rain coming in south of Chickamauga toward the Pond Spring area and Rock Spring farther south, Lafayette. Eventually, the heavy rain is going to get to you. Nothing severe with that in Lafayette. Rain and lightning, but not severe. You can see the leading outflow of those storms has popped up a little development there near Sugar Valley over to Resaca. Again, it's torrential downpours and lightning. What's different with these storms compared to what we had last week? Last week was with a front and energy moving along the front. There was also a lot of cooler, drier air at a lower altitude. So that's where you can generate stronger storms. When you're in an air mass like we are now, more of one that's very tropical, a lot of humidity up and down the column, you tend to get heavy rain and lightning being the main threats. The severe threat tends to come down. That's why we're not seeing as many severe thunderstorm warnings with this. We're getting some advisories because any general thunderstorm is going to provide wind gusts of 30 to 40. With that, you get some occasional gusts, but the widespread, like last weekend and the past 4 weeks alone, these are a lot different. So you're not having the tornadic activity, not having as many severe storms. We're not having as many extreme gusts like the 70 to 80 mile an hour last week. If you have anything severe, it's very, very isolated. Okay. And that's the pattern we're going to start getting into. It's June now, the deeper we're getting the summer months. It's more of this. It's more of heavy rain and lightning, rinse and repeat sort of storms, not the spring-like severe storms that we had earlier. But still, it's pretty noisy. It's pretty breezy with that outflow ahead of the storms. And really, because of the storms last week, it may have shaken a few trees loose or tree limb loose. And with a gust today, it may further push it on over, give it the nudge it needs. So we'll watch that. All right, let's go south to north along this line. And again, we'll take a look at the velocity scans here inside these cells. These were a little stronger about 30 minutes ago. And there's still some gust right here. Pockets of gust, but again, just kind of below severe levels. Let's see this. 30 to 40 above the surface. Yeah. It's a little windy. Rain and lightning with that over to Fort Payne. Let's head across Walker County. Again, very heavy rain near Chickamauga to Trenton, back over Lookout Mountain. But again, as far as the wind, there are some pockets there of gust on the leading edge where you tend to get some of the stronger gusts again above the surface, 30 to 40. Okay. Still in that range. So it's going to get a little windy for a while, not the entire time, but some gusts. And the same thing here with the cell across Hamilton County. And you can see some pockets here, some gust. So, and I'm looking out the window straight behind that camera, and it's not too windy out there. I mean, it's raining. You can hear it on the rooftop, but not wind-driven rain. And let's go here. I'll loop it. You can see there's some bright red pockets there, southern Meigs County, right in here. But again, these aren't too bad. These are nothing like what we had a few weeks ago. But still, above the surface, 30, between 30 and 40 above the surface. And as I said so often on all these streaming newscasts, ignore that purple. That's just the outer radius of the radar. It doesn't mean anything. There's no purple wind. Or it's gone to plaid. No, it's just that's just, non-informational. Just the radius of the radar. But there's some pockets of that deep red indicates above 30 above the surface. So it's not too. We're not looking at severe gusts with this. A lot of lightning, though. Those pockets of lightning are really showing up there between Decatur and Athens. Riceville, some rain. And then right here, right between Decatur and Athens. Then we go down to the Meigs and Hamilton County line, just northeast of Georgetown. Very heavy rain and lightning moving on through. Just east of Soddy-Daisy. Harrison, not far from where we are, on 58. Over to 153, Bonnie Oaks area. Right in here. Very heavy rain there. See Hickson, some rain. Heavy, but the farther north you go in Hickson, 153, it's not quite as heavy. If you go east down Hamill Road, you run into more heavy rain over to Harbor Heights and that whole side of the river there, Lake Resort Drive area. And more heavy rain coming out of Marion County, but again, it's mainly rain and lightning, not too much in the way of severe storms. Into Walker County, let's take a look here. Again, there's some pockets of gusts there. I think we just covered this a few minutes ago, but that's close to 40 above the surface. Kensington over to Chickamauga, so a little windy there, 30 to 40, but again, it's below severe levels, but nevertheless, windy with some rain and lightning. Not too much lightning, though, around Walker and Dade County. Not as much, just kind of washing itself out. More of that lightning here in parts of Hamilton County. We'll zoom out and show you the entire viewing area here. Any minute now. There we go. So again, there are no warnings at the time, no watches either. What we're looking at here are non-severe polygons, which means that's a strong storm. Could have wind gusts 30 to 40, kind of stays in that threshold. Some very heavy rain and lightning, but not severe. So we're not going to be here all night long streaming. I tend to relegate streaming to when it's really severe, but we'll hold it here because I know that last week is fresh in everybody's minds, and with all the severe storms. But we're kind of trending away from that. As I mentioned, these are going to be a bit on the noisy side, make a lot of loud claps of thunder and be awfully scary. But these are a lot different than what we've had before. Thanks everybody for watching. Let's see. Reginald's wondering when it's going to end. Reginald says, I'm a professional cyclist. I'm tired of living in Chattanooga and all the rain. I want to start cycling west in California. Reginald, I understand. But not every spring and summer is like this, okay? We've had a high achieving late April, May, and early June. But not every May and June's like this. In fact, last year, it was dry. We had drought coming out of May and early June. Same thing the year before. So some years are just different. And this year is a different year. We're transitioning from the global pattern, which is a La Nina, to a neutral cycle. This can tend to happen. So there's going to be times where it's like this in June, but not every June. Give it time. It's like if you live in, you say from California, if you're in LA area or coastal areas, you get that marine layer in June. They call it the June gloom out there. It's the same thing. And some years are just more achieving than others as far as getting the rain. So it's going to differ. If you stay here long enough, I'm 58 years old. So I've spent many a summer here. Summer like this, not all. Okay. But it is what it is. We can't control it. We just have to adapt. But we hope you stay here. Give it some time. All right. All right. Heavy rain, Saudi Daisy, Snow Hill to Georgetown, Ottawa, now spreading into more areas like East Brainerd. Still watch out these lightning threat. Again, folks, get inside, get off the lake, off the river. Time to bring you inside for the day. As far as Cleveland, somebody just asked me about Cleveland. Right on the edge of all this. You got more rain coming your way. I would say between around 7:30. It's heavy rain reaching Cleveland, coming over White Oak Mountain, but it's not severe. It's a little noisy. Probably hearing the lightning, or excuse me, hearing the thunder to your west right now, west of Cleveland. So that's heads up. It's coming up and over the ridge there. And okay, that advisory has now expired over Dade and Walker. So again, the severity kind of coming down a bit. It's a good thing. That's what we like. So these caves are going to have some wind gusts and lightning with it, but for the most part, it's kind of a rainy evening. It won't last all night. I really think it'll slowly move east through early to mid-evening and be out of here by midnight, just isolated overnight. Again, this advisory out for Hamilton County is out till 7:30, so we'll keep an eye on that. Dee Dee asking, what's up with all the low clouds? Well, that's going to happen, and I just mentioned this about the storms. When you have storms like this in this very humid air mass, you can get those low-hanging, creepy, ugly-looking clouds that are kind of scary, kind of overhang. They're scary looking. They're not scary in general. Their bark is worse than their bite. So you're going to see that, especially on the leading edges of the storms. You call that a shelf cloud, which is kind of an overhang. But oftentimes when the rain starts to fall, that causes condensation all the way down to the surface. You're going to get those low dangling clouds, and they're just sort of scud clouds and just scary looking, but not scary in general. Okay. Good question though, because I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of pictures sent about that. I did yesterday also. But the leading edge was kind of round, looks like an alien mothership coming in. That's the shelf cloud. That's just the leading edge of a storm. Not to be confused with a wall cloud. Shelf cloud, wall cloud, completely different. Okay. But what you're probably seeing East Brainerd area is the shelf cloud, the leading edge of the storm. It's kind of the leading edge in layers. Yeah, across North Georgia, heavy rain from Fort Oglethorpe heading east along Highway 2 toward Ringgold, crossing into Catoosa County. But again, it's mainly rain. Not as much lightning now in North Georgia, but be aware of that lightning risk. Downpours in Chickamauga, downpours at the battlefield, downpours headed toward Lafayette, downpours in Somerville with some lightning. Downpours and lightning in Fort Paynes, all up and down 59. Downpours in Marion, a little noisy, but not severe. It's, again, largest cluster of lightning here, right around where we are. 153 up to Harrison and all along 58. So more heavy rain coming in. Ottawa, you're right on the edge of the rain. Same thing in East Brainerd, right on the edge of all that as it moves just to your north and northeast. But again, not too severe. These are staying below severe levels. Pretty noisy here, Decatur to Athens. A lot of lightning there. Right along Tennessee Highway 30, which runs between Athens and Decatur. A lot of lightning there. Right along the McMinn and Meigs County line. Lightning near Nyota. So, again, stay inside. It's a good time just to be inside. It's dinner time anyway, right? Little cluster of lightning here from Britsville to Birchwood. Right along the Meigs Hamilton County line over to Mount Harmony. So 58, the most active area right now. Hello, Clay. Clay, I'm sorry to hear that news about your stepfather. My condolences to you, my friend. And I will tell Olivia you said hello. Let's go back to the main view of our entire viewing area. There we go. So it looks like the strongest kind of along the Meigs, McMinn County line. Really noisy in that area. But again, I mentioned the noise factor versus the severe factor. And there's some pockets of gusts, but still not too bad. Not much way of hail either. If there's any hail, it's very small. And the freezing level is so much higher now. With all that warm, moist air, it's all being pushed at a higher altitude. And the tops in some of these storms, the highest tops are over near Athens, about 40,000 feet. So, again, that freezing level is going to be even higher than that. So, hail, if you get any, it's going to be kind of small. Not like what we had 4 weeks ago. As I mentioned, what we had back in May with all those rounds of storms, those large hail clusters, the tornadoes, the wind gusts, we're easing away from that. This is a different type of storm. These are more of the summer storms coming in. And every heating of the day, we're going to get that. And for the most part, they're going to rain themselves out, have a lot of lightning, some occasional gusts, but only isolated storms ever reach severe levels, not to the extent we had last week. But this is a pattern we have to get used to the next several days, kind of off and on. Annoying for outdoor activities, but that's what we'll have. Let's see.
Oh, you guys have that? Yeah. Okay. We have that marked. Okay.
But again, this is advisory out for Hamilton and parts of Sequatchie out till 7:30. This other one outside. There might be other advisories issued, but for the most part, these are staying below severe levels. So we'll stick around to about 7:30 and kind of break away. This is again, I'm just letting y'all know what was happening with those warnings and advisories there. But for the most part, as we just saw that line come through where we were, wasn't much wind with it. There's a lot of rain and lightning. And for the most part, more of your what we call general thunderstorms. And so I don't tend to live stream too much for general thunderstorms. It's just those that can get strong and cause some damage. So we won't be on all night long here, all evening. We'll just keep an eye on this. But let's all the time we've got left here, we'll take a look at these. Still pretty strong. Decatur, Nyota, Athens, pretty noisy. Look at the wind velocity here. If you again, ignore the purple. Purple means nothing, just the radar radius. Gust above the surface, 20 to 30 there. Not too terrible. But be aware in Sweetwater, that northern part of Monroe, you're going to have heavy rain coming your way from the southwest, already raining at 10 Mile and more coming your way. Heavy in Decatur, heavy to Athens, right along Highway 30. Just ending in Riceville, you might have a little more coming in from the southwest. And rating on the mainly east side of Hamilton County now. There's more rain coming in from the west. Coming up over Raccoon and Elder Mountain here. Some pops of lightning, but right along the Marion Hamilton County line. But over to the Prentice Cooper area. But again, as far as it being severe, no. But it just seems more heavy downpours for downtown. So if you wanted to go for a walk this evening, not so much luck. With the lightning risk, you need to stay inside. Still too close, still too numerous. Again, heavy rain continues. Next round of heavy rain, Fort Oglethorpe to the Boynton area, Ringgold, the Battlefield, getting heavy rain. Not much lightning with that. There was, but not much now. But Ringgold, you're about to get some downpours coming your way. Not severe, though. Dalton, for the most part, you're having to kind of wait a little while, but as all this right along the Highway 27 corridor makes its way east and northeast, you're going to get some gusts, some wind, some lightning eventually, but it doesn't appear to be too severe. Resaca, heavy downpours extending into southern Murray, southern Whitfield, just north of Calhoun. And then we got a little cluster of lightning here, right along Somerville to Lyerly. So again, 27 extending from Walker all the way through Chautauqua County. Very heavy rain there. And we'll see if there's any strong gust in there. Might be a little bit. This has been a very active area anyway the past couple of weeks. Yeah, gusts 30 to 40 above the surface there. And keep in mind, folks, all these really heavy downpours with the ground super saturated, it's not going to take much to cause some flooding pretty quickly. So if you know about, we had pictures yesterday from the Gun Barrel area, Gun Barrel and Shallowford Road area. That tends to flood all the time now lately. So be aware of areas like that. If you know an area that tends to flood pretty quickly, know that and kind of avoid those areas, because this is like pouring water on a wet sponge. Just got nowhere to go. It's not going to be absorbed. It's just going to run off. So that's going to be the problem. So do be aware of the isolated flooding risk, and turn around, don't drown. Don't walk through an area flooded over. Don't drive through an area flooded over. Okay. It only takes 6 inches of water, moving water, to move a car. It's not too deep. That's barely just over your ankles deep. That can move a car. It's a lot of power water has. Quite a bit of lightning again, Snow Hill to Harrison, right along the Highway 58 corridor, and moving north and east. Still a lot of lightning here from Decatur to Athens, but it's noisy, but it's not severe. And again, pretty much rain, more heavy rain coming into parts of Hamilton. East Brainerd, you missed out on that first one. But this one that's soaking Fort Oglethorpe over to Indian Springs, that's going to start creeping into East Brainerd. You will get heavy rain from this one. Not much lightning compared to the first round, but that's going to start bringing you heavy rain. So Ringgold about to get some heavy rain. Again, crossing the state line into East Brainerd. So a large part of East Brainerd that missed out on that early one. You're going to get some rain coming in. Ottawa, another round will come your way with this one between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Mainly rain. Okay? Mainly rain. And again, Decatur to Athens, still quite active here. A lot of lightning, a lot of rain. All the way to Sweetwater. Again, there are some pockets, some gusts, not severe though, between 30 and 40. Go back to the full view locally. And again, kind of strong in Chattooga County, but no advisory there yet. And the advisory over Hamilton expires in the next few minutes. So pretty much after this, we'll kind of break away for a while. If there's anything else severe, we'll let you know. But this is not a lengthy storm tracking. These are mostly non-severe storms. As I mentioned, they're pretty noisy. You can get some wind gusts with it, but a storm with lots of lightning is not a severe storm. It's severe in the fact that you shouldn't be outside. Okay. It's very deadly, lightning is. But as far as the severe elements, as far as wind, hail, tornadic activity, these are all staying below that. Okay. So sub-severe, but pretty noisy. And it's going to be like that this weekend. These are a lot different than last week, a lot different than the past 4 weeks. Okay. So getting into more of that summertime mode. So we'll start from north to south again, show you when the most active areas are. Sweetwater to Athens, Nyota, heavy rain, lightning there. These, again, are below severe levels, but raining heavily, so do beware some flash flooding in spots. And when these repeated rounds roll through, like Georgetown, Birchwood, Cleveland, you're about to get some rain and lightning coming your way, coming right up and over White Oak eventually. But that one in Ottawa, not severe, just noisy. Here's that blob of heavy rain coming over toward East Brainerd, Ringgold. So you're about to get some heavy downpours for your lawns and gardens there. A little bit of lightning, but not too bad. Still a little bit of lightning in and around Rossville to Lookout Mountain. So still stay inside until that lightning threat ends. Across North Georgia, here's what it was like 30 minutes ago. It's not too bad. Heavy rain, occasional lightning. Still seeing that on top Lookout Mountain. Notice right here. A couple of lightning strikes still showing up right in here. So wait 30 minutes. 30 minutes since the last visible lightning strike or last clap of thunder before going back outside, or you can count 30 seconds between lightning strike to audible clap of thunder. If you count more than 30 seconds, it's safer to be outside. But again, you're still going to have a lot of lightning even behind these rounds. Still pretty active here from Tryon to Somerville, all along 27 in Chattooga County. That'll sneak into Walker. It's causing more heavy rain toward Lafayette, eventually toward Villanelle, and Dalton. You'll start getting some heavy rain between 7:30 and 8. Chatsworth between 7:30 and 8. You'll get this round of heavy rain near Resaca, but it's a non-severe cell. Okay, but again, it's that's just the way it is right now. There's a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, and summertime storms, but not severe out there. All right, folks. We'll keep watching things for you. All the advisories have been lifted. But again, please be aware of that lightning threat. Stay inside. Please storms pass on by. Be aware of the heavy rain. Be careful traveling if you have to go out. And be aware of excessive runoff and flash flooding. And again, tomorrow, it's kind of like today. It's not going to be an all-day washout tomorrow. You can go to the pool. You can go to the lake tomorrow. But be aware of the lightning risk and the scatter storms developing. Each day has a chance, but not all day. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll continue watching the radar for you. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, and happy Father's Day to all you dads out there.